Hey guys, what is going on? Thank you so much for joining us for day 2 of Industry Insight.
Hello?
Yes, sorry, I was having on my end. Yeah, sorry, I double stream layback. That was not the way I wanted to start that, but thank you so much. Day 2, we are here with Doki. Thank you so much for joining today. And I think just getting straight into it, how do you really describe your first interaction with esports?
First interaction with esports. So I think I've said this before in a couple of other podcasts and things. So I started playing the game in 2015 when it got released, and I was
Mm,
like 16, I think, because I'm 20 now, almost 21. And then so I obviously couldn't play esports for like what 2 years or whatever because
yeah.
you got to be 18. Um, so like I started playing the game in 2015 and just played it really casually. Although I was good at it, I never thought I would even do esports, not even play in any small competition. And it wasn't until December of 2018, I think it was, when I joined Vex Gaming for
Yeah.
the UKIN or ESL Prem, I think it was at the time. So like that was like the first interaction, and then um, shortly after were I was like sent on loan to Eminem, and then we went to the DreamHack that I was talking to you about
Mm.
in Sweden. So yeah, I guess that was the first actual interaction.
So yeah, how many years were you in the UK Prem before you made it to Challenger?
Um, I, I don't know.
Just
I'm just trying to think. We made it to Challenger League in what 2018?
yeah,
No, 2019. No, 2019. It
yeah.
had to be 2019. So we made it to Challenger in 2019.
Mm,
I think I played one season of UK Prem with Vexed, but it wasn't a proper team. It was just a split team.
mm,
And then from that, I went on to loan to Eminem, and then I think that's when we won the first season of UKIN or ESL Prem. Sorry, I keep calling it UKIN. We won it with that Eminem team, and then like literally like 3 or 4 weeks later, we qualified for Challenger League. Um, so yeah, that was old times, good old times. But I miss the old team, to be honest. So
I
yeah.
mean, it was pretty much in the heart of it a core British roster,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
and
was.
yeah,
So like it was so who was it? It was me, Kendrew Citizen, Nello and Safes. That
mm,
was the five. So yeah, we were three, and then Gig was the coach. So we had four UK people in the team.
yeah,
Um, and we still do right now. We have four UK players. So I mean, I think that's a key to our success is staying mainly British or native English speaking because like the communication is just like way better. So I don't know. Maybe that's key to success. I don't know.
well, it's. I mean, after that, like you said, you went straight into Challenger League and just a dominant run straight through.
Yeah,
And I think the only other team to really be able to handle that was Empire, which
yeah,
just go straight through CL, then straight through PL, just
and then
straight
won
win
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Although I didn't win it because I
yeah.
was banned, but still, yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. Nobody else did that, right? It was us and Empire. BDS didn't do it because they didn't
Mm,
win right away. Vitality didn't do it. So yeah, it was us
mm,
and Empire, which is it's crazy because I actually remember like after like obviously we lost some games that pro league season um because
yeah.
nobody's perfect, but like after they won Japan, we that was the first time we actually had started to actually lose games
Mm,
in literally like 8 months of playing together as a team, and it was a really weird experience to think that pro league champions, like a really experienced pro league team, have never actually experienced like losing before. It's just
mm,
that's crazy. And I remember it really hit us really hard actually. like like what is this? Why are we losing games? We've never experienced this before. We were winning everybody, wrecking everybody. Everybody was scared to play us, and then we were kind of like, why are we starting to lose games? And I
mm.
guess it's kind of crumbled.
I,
Um,
I mean,
so
that's
yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's not really only unique to you guys, because like I said,
Oh,
Empire had the same run from CL to PL, and after they kind of hit their prime, they slumped a little bit, and so do most teams. Everyone has
yeah,
that slump eventually.
I think like Empire spoke about this as well. I
Mm,
think they said that the reason was is because they thought they were like better than everybody else. Like not in the back of their heads, like kind of like big ego.
yeah,
Like they didn't think they had to put in so much effort. So I guess that's why for them. I think for us, well, I think first of all, me getting banned was a
yeah.
big part of the kind of the fall of things, I guess, because and I'm not saying that I'm like some amazing player, or whatever, but like the synergy and stuff like it wasn't there. You know what I mean? After I got banned, so I guess I guess that's why. I don't know.
I mean, when did that get lifted? Was it like May last year?
April 2nd
Yeah.
this year.
Oh,
April 2nd this year. I lifted, yeah. April
jeez.
2nd, 2020.
It seemed
So like
ages ago.
yeah, it does now. Um but when was I banned? I was banned in October the 2nd
Hmm.
of 2019. So that's more than a year ago. That's actually crazy.
Because
Jesus Christ.
didn't that occur on stream?
Yeah, I was playing a
Yeah.
ranked game and I got banned. That's yeah, good memories. But hey, I actually said this on the 6 on 6 podcast
Hmm.
with Intero. Like, yeah, I'm actually really happy that I actually got banned because I think it's made me like a better person. I've I've like well, first of all, my attitude has changed
Hmm.
completely. I'm not as much as a dickhead anymore. I still am a little bit, but and I just think that it wakes you up and it makes you
Hmm.
more of an adult and stuff like that to actually realize you're not invincible or whatever and
Hmm.
stuff bad stuff can happen. So I mean, it was good. Actually, I wouldn't take it back for the world because I think it definitely has changed me for the good to be a better person. And I mean, I'm back on my
Hmm.
feet now, so I'm not complaining.
I mean, yeah, it's like a lot of scenarios like that. I mean, you came into the scene quite, I'd say, quite young at 18,
Yeah,
like coming into the professional scene. And another example of that, who spoke very openly about it, would be, yeah, Pengu, because he had
yeah,
the interview for the Invitationals 2019 about
mm-hmm,
how Ubisoft went to him the year before about him, I mean, and his attitude.
mm-hmm.
And sometimes it is what is needed to help you grow. I
I mean,
mean,
absolutely, yeah. Like it's so important to like. I was speaking to Veronica about this, and there's so many like kids, and I know
mm,
I'm young as well, but there's so many kids that play this game at a professional level
mm,
and get paid a ridiculous amount of money to play this game at a competitive level, and they take it for granted. Like they
mm,
really take it for granted. They are assholes, and they are like really rude. Um, and I mean, like it's when you put it into perspective, it's crazy. If you were working a normal
mm,
job, in I don't know, like Tesco or like McDonald's or
mm,
whatever, like they wouldn't put up for the shit that people put up for in esports. You know what I mean? So it's just absolutely crazy.
mm,
Um, it's just crazy to think that that people have this like unjust ego, and it can all be taken away in the blink of an eye. And
mm.
that happened to me. You know what I mean? Like, and it really it really hurt. To be honest, that was a really shit part of my life when it happened because because when you think about it, like we must think what I was feeling like getting banned for 6 months at the peak of your career,
Mm.
and then watch your team go on to win Japan and then go to Invitational. It's kind of like, oh well, that's me done then. That's me
Yeah.
out the basket. But like, I don't know. I bounced back, I guess, and they want to be back, which is insane. So I mean, I don't know. Happy that happened, I guess.
I mean, how, especially with the current scenario, with what they announced at Invitationals, just the new league system, the new quad major a year,
Yeah.
and all of that. And then, how do you feel like as a player, like hearing all of that, hearing this new system, and the double season a year, all of that, and then now to all be going online?
Um. I mean, it's COVID's affected way
Mm.
more than just esports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's affected a lot. A lot of life. Just even general stuff. I can't even see my friends, and that was a big thing about my like, mental health. Well, look, sorry, my health for my mental would be like to go out and socialize with my friends because sitting in front of the PC all the time is
Mm.
fucking boring. Um, so like I I actually really miss that. But without lands, you can see the decline in viewership
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like it's hurt the game, but it's hurt every game at the same time. Like someone said, like, oh, now that everyone's at home, they'll have more time to watch esports and stuff like that. But that's not really how that works because esports itself is affected big time. There's no tournaments, there's no like lands,
Yeah.
there's no like you can't see the players. You know what I mean? Like in a full year, and that brings in a lot of interaction and viewership. So for a player, that's like hurt a lot because like I can't see my team, I can't see my friends, uh, and that just sucks.
Yeah.
But it's you got to do it, I guess, and hope for the best for next year and get some lands going again. That'll be good fun.
I mean, most likelihood the Invitational is probably going to end up being online as well. And
I mean, the thing is, can you have an invitational online?
mm,
I don't really think you can because you can't play, the Europe team against the Brazilian team on 300 ping and hope for the best results. It's not going to work. So, I don't know about the invitational,
mm,
or I don't want to say stuff on stream about the invitational,
that's
but
good.
like it's hope for the best, I
Yeah.
guess, and see what Ubisoft can do.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all like given they can't, like we just gonna everyone's just gonna get what they get when it comes down to the time, and
Yeah.
I have no doubt that they'll try and do the best with it. But also seeing that as you played in the first season of UKIN and being a pro like a EUL team in that I guess tier 3 scene national level. What do you think of the UK talent, especially since Koana and M&M Gaming made it all the way to
Oh yeah.
first and second?
I mean, there's no doubt in my head that the UK talent in tier 3 and above is way better than any other region.
Mm,
Um, you have I've seen a lot of people saying that the French league is the most competitive, and I'm like, well, it's not because it has 4 pro teams
mm,
in that league. So obviously on paper it's the most competitive, but that doesn't really make it a competitive league. But in UKIN, you have Eminem who and Koana who are both fighting for EU League right now,
mm,
but I guess they're still T2 or Tier 3
yeah.
teams that came from UKIN. So that's 2 teams. Like teams like Audacity, even
Mm,
last season, really showed up and played well. Like there's so much fresh talent that isn't pro
mm,
in UKIN that I think makes it like such a strong region. And like I mean look at us. We picked up Navi picked up 2 UKIN players who have no pro experience. Like minus maybe Blur a little bit. We
mm,
got Blur, we got Joe. They came straight from UKIN. And now we're doing really well in EU League. Blur is the top rated player on our team. Joe has the most frags on our team. That's not an
mm,
easy thing to do when you're playing against G2, BDS, blah blah blah, like all the
mm.
time. It's a hard thing to do. So like they fit in very well, and they've did like a lot of work to make sure that they have fit in well. So it's the talent in the UK is it's not
Mm.
even in question. It's insane.
I
So
mean, yeah, I mean, we have, I think we're the only region to have a second division, and
yeah.
it's such a great thing because that's what 16 teams in
Hmm.
2 divisions competing for like the
Like
nationals, and it's
I
something that
think
okay,
I think other regions do have
do
second
they?
divisions. I think so because I know French does,
Ah,
and I think Russia might do, but they're not as like well
yeah,
promoted as like the UK one is. Like the UK Division 2 seems to be like there's a lot of investment going into it.
mm,
It's casters and new fresh talent coming up as well. So like it's not just the players for the UK 2. There's new casters coming in
mm.
that might erupt and be able to go on to actually cast UCAN or bet bigger things. It's a whole like economy. You know what I mean? It's really really great in the UK. So yeah.
Um, yeah. So someone in chat was do you think obviously recent with the recent ban with Aces and all of that?
Hmm.
Um, do you personally think the bans handed to some tier 2 players that got bans were light, or do you agree with the length of them?
Um. Okay, I've got to be careful what I
No,
say,
I
I
know.
guess. But I think like I like Aces,
Hmm,
and I know that he can be a bit lippy, and I think he is mainly joking
hmm,
when it comes to things like that because he's similar to me. But you gotta realize that when you say stuff like this, you gotta report it first of all,
hmm,
because if you don't report it and uh and it gets exposed that this message was sent, there's going to be more than one person who takes the hit for
hmm,
that. If you know what I mean. So first of all, like that's very important that people understand that you've got to report these things, um, because that will be bad for more than one person, and the what was it, 3 map ban or something Ace has got
Mm.
for his and a 6 grand fine.
Jeez.
I don't think it's just for the crime, um, but it we don't know so much about it because things have been happening behind closed doors and stuff. But like in my opinion, like that needs to be punished
Mm.
harder so it doesn't happen again. Because I don't understand that Shermie, who is another German player, did I pretty much think the exact same thing
Mm.
and got a 6 month ban. But because Aces is an EL player or whatever, I don't know, the ban was less. I'm not gonna say stuff because
Yeah.
I actually
No.
don't know. Like I actually don't know, and I don't want to speak out of place. But like I was banned for 6 months. Some can argue that was too long. Some can argue that wasn't enough. But it's a long time. No matter what, if no matter what you argue, we can all agree that 6 months is still a pretty
Mm.
long time. 3 map ban isn't
Mm.
really so much of a long time. And you can say that, oh, it's the reason for Rogue's failure this season and stuff, and it partially might be, but it's one player leaving isn't going to mess up another 4 players. So I think that argument isn't really out the window because that
Mm.
happened to Navi, and Navi were able to win a pro league without one of their main players. So it's I don't think that's even an
Yeah.
argument. So to answer the question, I think I don't think the ban was like long enough. The integrity of the ban wasn't good enough. Um, I mean that's just my opinion.
Mm.
But I kind of do feel for Aces as well because I know him on a personal level, and I
Yeah.
know that he was joking. But at the same time, it's not something you joke about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And I think someone's question in regards to obviously when you said when you got into this, obviously being the age you were, not being able to compete, and then when you came in, I'm guessing it wasn't at its prime just yet. And someone said, how do you recommend going pro or going competitive in a place where the comp scene is little to none?
So little to none. What does he mean by that? He means how going pro in a place with the comp scene is little to none. So I guess he's from a different region.
Yeah.
Um. So I mean, I don't know. Like, that's a hard one
Mm.
because if there's no competitions in your region, there's nothing I can
Mm.
say that's going to help you.
I mean,
But
with especially in Europe, you have all of the nationals. In
Mhm.
APAC, you have the new regions currently developing in Pakistan, India.
Yep.
You have that the MENA is it called the MENA region?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it is.
because
Yeah,
that's the south.
Middle East,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
the South
yeah,
APAC, and
yeah. It's
then
the
in
Middle
NA.
East
Yeah,
and Middle East and North Africa. I think it is.
yeah,
MENA, something like that. I don't know.
and it's so I think every region has some form of competition.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
Mm.
there's always competition you can get. It's how big that competition you want to get.
Yeah.
For example, like I don't think the MENA players can play EU League, which is like there
Mm.
might be some good MENA players out there, but they don't qualify as European or like
Mm.
in the reach of European league, so they
Mm.
can't do that. But I mean, this goes for anybody. Like there will, if you are good enough, there will be opportunities everywhere in the world of esports for you. So you shouldn't not get good because there's no competition in your local area. You should just focus on being the best that you can be, and if you're happy with yourself, then you're going to be. That should be enough to make you content. And from that you will find competitions and offers coming your
Mm.
way, in my opinion, because I don't know, like the only person I want to please is myself,
Mm.
and well, obviously my team and stuff. But if I please myself first, then I'm on the road to helping my team, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like, I would just say focus on your individual skill, play the game a lot, challenge yourself, set goals for yourself, and just I don't know, be the best version of yourself. I guess if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Especially now where the comp scene is what it is. It's nowhere even close to what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And we've just grown so much as a game, as
Yeah.
an esport. And
No,
there's so much
definitely.
more competition now. Although we used to have all of the ESL Cups and Because I know in Central Europe you had all of the Go Fours and
I
like
mean, you still have them.
yeah.
Yeah, you still have a Faceit version of them,
Mm.
so it's like they're still there.
I
But
mean, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, in especially in Russia at the time, because it was kind of hard getting into like the EU scene because you had like the French ones. So I think we had the 5v5 bomb every week and also the 3v3 secure area, which was the only ESL formats at the time for us. Which
yeah.
is brilliant.
That's yeah. No thanks. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't thank you for playing in that.
Yeah. Okay, we have someone. What would you say is the best way to reset mentality after losing?
Hmm. What is the best way to reset your mentality? Uh, like, like for us, like we had a really rough split this season at the beginning. Like we had like 2 draws and like 3 losses, something like that. 2 draws and 3 losses. Which is like really bad. We were like, oh no, we're probably not gonna make where we want to be at the end of the season.
Hmm.
So that was really devastating to us. But what we said was like, you know what, like we have an insane amount of tough games ahead of us. We had BDS, Vitality, Rogue, and Secret, and at the time, Secret and BDS were the top 2 seeds in EU League.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is going to be really tough if we keep playing the way we are. So we just said, like, you know what, like they are yesterday's losses. It's time to start like picking it up now. There's no point focusing on what we did wrong yesterday because it's not going to help us in being better today. So I mean, we just literally completely forgot our losses and restarted the season from that day game. And if we had lost the BDS game, we would have did the same for the next game. If we had lost the next game, we would have did the same to the next game. Just don't give up. Like the second that you actually say, "Oh no, like we have lost, we are terrible,"
Hmm.
like you're not gonna go anywhere. That's when you start to really lose. But but don't give up and believe in your team. I guess like it's Siege. Anything can happen in Siege. Like it's the most like game for like uproars and stuff like that. So it's like
Hmm.
it's upset. Sorry. So it's like anything can happen.
And
Just believe in yourself.
that's where the greatest stories come from, especially in this game. Is some of the greatest esports stories come
Exactly.
from upsets.
Exactly.
And again, it's what we were talking about yesterday with some of the brackets, like especially with this new double eliminate. Well, not new, but the double elimination format in majors. It provides for such a backstory.
Yep.
In every region, especially is like at the invitational we have NIP, for Europe we have BDS, LATAM. Every other region you have some kind of just from bottom bracket up, and it creates so much.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I hope that when we play the EU finals in December, that we have like there's a lower bracket or whatever. So like even if a team does lose, that they have the chance to like fight back. Because that you're right, that it's fun. Pardon me, it's fun to watch. So like I don't know, and I really really hope for next stage of EU League that there is a new format because the best of one system we have right now is really boring and it's boring to watch and it's boring to play because it's the best of one. If you have a bad game, then you're out. You know what I mean? And that's not really showing the integrity of the game. So like, I really wish there's best of threes next season or like some form of overtime at least, because I really hate drawing a game. You gotta realize that a draw is so much worse than a loss. Like although you still get the point in the table, it's statistically better. It feels worse because you're like, oh, we gotta win that game. Like if you get 7-1, then you're just like, oh well, we lost. We lost to the better team won. But like, man, it's so annoying to like draw a game. It's so annoying.
I mean, it's every region has a different format. We have draws, best of ones. APAC has best of ones overtime.
Yep.
And LATAM has best of twos, and NA has best of threes.
Yeah,
So,
I don't understand why APAC has best of one overtime and we don't. Like I just don't get that. Like, who sat down and said that was a good idea? I really don't understand it because I think the team there's the same amount of teams. So I mean, it's I don't know. It's annoying.
It's also the fact of just like again, could it be just them just seeing what formats work and which ones don't, and it's like so it's the first year there's going to be some tests. So it'd be really interesting to see what they come out with the invitational in regarding to the next season.
I mean, I mean, it could be. I'd like to think it's not because that's a really bad way of testing things, in my opinion. Like using people's jobs and lives as guinea pigs. But I just think that they did it because each region is managed by a different
Yeah.
person or a different group of people, um, and I think they just thought, why change the system when we have a system in place right
Mm.
now for EU? Because we had a best of ones for a while, with draws in it.
Mm.
So I mean, I guess that's why they didn't change it. Timing probably is a big thing. You know, there's 10 teams. They don't want to start it an hour earlier because it might hurt viewership, or they don't want to start it an hour later because it's too late. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. It confuses me, but let's just hope that it's different for next season. I guess is what we can do.
Yeah. Um. So going all the way back to when you guys were competing on a national stage in offline events, and it's the same question I'll ask to most people who are on this week. What do you think would be some of your best memories from LAN events?
Well, the one I told you off stream,
Yeah.
on DreamHack Sweden, we had like a cabin. It was like literally this tiny log cabin in the middle of like a forest, which is where we stayed from because we paid for the accommodation or travel, like just the players. It wasn't the org so
Mm.
much. Well, I think I can't quite remember. Um, so we bought this cabin to stay there for like a week, but it was like miles away from the event because like the communication was just messed up along the way and just crazy. It's like we had to walk because there was no taxis in this town or ever because it was like some old fashioned Swedish town. I don't know, but we had to walk like, I'm not even kidding, maybe 2 or 3 hours to get from our cabin to the event every day. And it was like in December in Sweden, minus like 25, 30 degrees, and then like 4 feet of snow. And it was like, oh man, this is the worst experience ever. And like, some of us didn't have the right hoods and jackets, and freezing so cold. And it's probably not a good experience, but I remember it because it was definitely like an annoying one. And it's gonna stick in the back of my mind for forever probably. So yeah, that wasn't good. And what else? I mean, winning Prem for the first time, probably it was the first big tournament we
Mm.
were ever playing in, and to actually defeat at the time a pro league team in Team Secret was like
Yeah.
crazy. You know what I mean? Like a challenge league team beating a pro league team. That was never heard
Mm.
of at that time. Um, so I mean, yeah, there's a lot of memories, but those two definitely do
Mm.
stand out.
I mean, on the flip side to you beating Team Secret, I mean, we had Team Secret demolishing pro league teams at the Invitational this year.
Yeah, yeah. Not the invitational, the rally major, right? I think
Yeah.
it was rally major.
Might have been
Yeah,
the rally. Yeah.
or the Vegas minor. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean it's the other way about. Everything works, and Eminem beat Navi in the latest UKIN. Like what was it, like a month ago or something? That we lost to Eminem 3-2.
Mm.
But at the same time, I mean, we had a sub, I guess, but still, it's that's the stories that you like to see.
Mm.
Although I was at the receiving end of it, it's still the stories that you like to see. So I mean, yeah,
Who doesn't love to see a Titan fall?
yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, we have one from chat. Who do you think is the best player you've played with or against, either in difficulty or
Mm,
respect wise? Just what something I'll add.
wow. Mm, uh, I mean, best player I've played with, I'm gonna say Citizen because I think like he is so unbelievably mechanically skilled, and he was just a really good teammate and a really great friend. So like, and he still is. I still get on with him really well. Talk to him all the time. Uh, so I mean, I guess I'd say Citizen be the best player I've played with. Best player I've played against. I don't know. There's just so many. Like, there's so many like really good players. Uh, I don't know. Like, I guess you could say like Shaiko or whatever. But the one team I really hate playing against is Virtus Pro, and I really hate playing against Pasha and Rask from Virtus Pro because I think they are so confident. Like, they are so confident in their ability to just run around the map and have fun and yet wreck your whole team. That's what's actually scary. Because like, like you're playing against a player like Shaiko,
Mm.
and you're like, wow, this guy is very, very good. His aim is very, very good. He is gonna beat me in a one-on-one probably. But at the same time, you're kind of like, I can shoot back and kill that guy. He's pretty predictable. But Rask and Pasha, let's sprint around the map with like Vigil and like Oryx and stuff, and it's so annoying, so annoying to play against. So like, I really hate playing against the Virtus Pro guys. To be honest, they're really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, with the competitive side of things with the map pool we currently have.
Hmm?
Would you like to see any changes with that? Or
Yeah. I'd actually like to see the new chalet in comp, in place of like, well, in my opinion, I would replace coastline,
hmm,
but I've heard that some people want to replace clubhouse. Clubhouse is getting a bit boring. But my argument to that would be clubhouse is like the clubhouse is like the, I don't know, like the dust two
hmm,
of siege. You know what I mean? Like it's it's uh it's always gonna be there. It's never gonna be bad. It's never gonna be amazing, but it's always there. You know what I mean?
hmm.
But I definitely like to see Chalet just because it's new. It's not bad. The map's pretty good comp wise. It plays out well, so I'd like to see Chalet
I mean, that's
just
what
just to spice it up. You know?
I mean, that's what we saw in Theme Park after it
Yep.
was released. It had a season where it was just in ranked, and then when it hit comp, it was something new to see.
Yeah.
It was like a new
Like
set of excitement.
people are so scared of theme park. I think, like for example, BDS
Mm,
don't play it. Not many teams play it. They just ban it. To be honest, um, and I don't know why that is because the map's actually really good. It's very defender sided, but there's stuff you can do on attack, and I think people, when it's a best of one in EU League, they're too scared to go to theme park because let's say you start defense or the enemy team starts defense, they can win 5 rounds, like easily win 5 rounds if they really don't mess it up. And,
mm,
and being down like 1-5 is like really hard to come back from, especially in the best of one.
mm,
Because as soon as that team wins one attack, they have a draw, and
mm.
you don't. You know what I mean? So it's like that's really hard. So it's probably why teams don't play theme park in a best of one. To be honest, it's just too defender sided.
Well, I'm trying to filter through chat. It's all, it's all just going off. Well, I don't know. What would you say is a different side of Siege? Like from what people are, if you're a viewer and what people have you're seeing the different leagues, you're seeing all of that. What would you say is just another side of it, another view on it as a player?
I mean, it's just my job.
Mm,
It's not. I mean, I love the game, but it's not the game. It's not the game that I got in love with. If you know what I mean. Like when I started playing, it's way different game.
mm,
I don't enjoy it as much. I still like it because it's my game and I want to be good at it. For my job, but it is a job. That's the thing that people don't understand. It really, really is a job for me. Like, I do play it outside of practice sometimes.
yeah,
I play a little bit of ranked here and there, but it's I do have fun playing Siege, but it's not the fun that I had a casual player. Like actually having fun playing the game. I like fun for me is winning games, improvement in scrims, like that is what matters because it really is my job, and I want to continue. I want to continue being my job because I really like it, and it is what it is. So I mean, it's what it is. I guess it's a job. People don't realize that.
yeah. I mean, it's certainly a different way to look at things once it is everything. And wait,
I just realized, boom, he's one of my friends. He's asked, "Can you ask Doki his diet to perform well?" Well, he's saying that because he'll be hinting at my terrible diet of fast food. However, I've actually stopped that. Starting this week, I am going to be eating healthy. I got like a lot of chicken and some steak and stuff like that. I'm going to be cooking my own meals, doing some meal prep. So don't be asking that, boom.
hmm.
Possible beverages that help? No, no, no. I just like my still water. That's all I drink. So yeah.
uh, um, in just regard to what you just said, chat has been going off. How do you have your steak?
How do I have my steak?
Yeah,
Medium rare. Steak is, dude. I love
yeah,
steak. Steak is the one thing I think I can always eat. Like you have that food. Like, do you have a food that you could like literally eat every
yeah.
single day for the rest of your life? What's your food?
I mean, I would go with like steak and like mashed steak and chips, but
Yeah.
like proper French style chips as well.
Ah. Okay. Okay. So like when I have my steak, I always have it medium rare. But another thing that I actually like I love. Like, I have it like literally 3 times a week. Is like chicken fajitas, like
Mm.
really spicy Mexican chicken fajitas. Oh man, like I could genuinely live on that, like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for like years. It just doesn't get old at all. So like that's just crazy. Yeah, chicken fajitas, man, they are lovely.
Uh, I don't know. Like, when it came down to, because yeah, because that was what Des was saying yesterday about you at invitationals,
Mm-hmm.
and how did you find that? Just going as a viewer instead.
Me, like
Yeah.
actually me. Uh, I mean, it was kind of hard, I
Mm.
guess, to see your team like play without you again. Like, it's horrible. But I mean, I wasn't just a viewer.
Mm.
I helped them a lot
Yeah.
because I was at boot camp with them for a month before it as well, and I helped them a lot doing like some coaching work, some strat work, and things like that. Um, like it wasn't just me sitting there watching them
Mm.
play. I was doing stuff behind the scenes to help them. Because although we had our main coach Jack there, I was definitely just, even if it was a morale boost or whatever, still
It's still
involved in
something.
the day-to-day training. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I wish I could be playing on the stage and stuff, but it is what it is. It's part of the punishment, I guess. So
Like,
it's fine.
like, well, like you were talking about, you came out of it better on the other side.
Yeah.
So, as hard as it was, it had some benefits at least.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, mm, completely. Well, as I said, I wouldn't take it back
Mm.
for anything, because sometimes you need a wake up call to actually be a better person. So, and I think I am. I genuinely do think I am way more mature and just learn from it. So it's fine. It's fine for me.
Mm.
There's a
Um.
lot worse that could happen to you as well. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
it's could have been way longer ban. Something else could have happened. I recovered from it, which is all that matters. So no point looking back.
One thing I did want to say, and it's something that I think some people don't like to even think about, would be,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think of the UK? Kind of morale, kind of the environment behind UK Siege, and with like
Mm-hmm.
kind, I guess tier 4 in a sense, but
I think
especially with UK.
I think UK players are very toxic.
Mm.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's okay to be toxic sometimes. Just don't take it too far, obviously. Um, we are
Mm.
and Navi to each other. Like, we are very, very, like a fuck you, fuck that, blah 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 blah,
Mm.
blah, like all the time whilst we're playing. Um, and it's it's a bit of banter, I guess. It lifts the mood here and there, as long as you don't take it too far, and because it is all fun and games. But the UK, like, you can always tell, like there's a very divided part of the UK community. You have like the pro players who are like us, Eminem, Citizen, Leon Gids, blah, blah, who are all this, tight knit group people, and you have like these. I'm not gonna say outcasts, but it kind of feels
Yeah.
like that, like, of people who are just BMing people on Twitter like all the time, and I'm just sitting there like, what's going on? Why are you doing this? And I mean, it's funny to watch because you can kind of tell that they're not serious, but at the same time, they might be serious, which is kind of the controversial part. But I don't know. UK is something special. I wouldn't change it because it is funny, but I don't know. Just don't take it too far and actually
Mm.
start to be mean to people and hurt their feelings, I guess, because it's pointless. There's no place for that. But yeah. Yeah, Joe from Navi, for example, Joe versus Plato.
Mm.
Joe played against that Plato guy in a ranked game, and he like did he bug abused or whatever, and Joe absolutely had it out for him. He was like, "This is why you're gonna make it nowhere. You're a gold fucking bot." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what? It's fine. That's fine. Just don't take it too far. But yeah, it's all fun and games.
It's part. I mean, the amount it's said on a cast, or the amount it's just always down to just the UK teams just being who they are,
Yeah.
and it's something you saw quite a bit, especially from like a viewer standpoint. Just watching UKIN, just the shit going on between teams, even just
Mm-hmm.
as banter.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that's such a unique environment that
Yep.
everyone's just on the same page.
Mm-hmm. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's you can always tell if you're a UK
Mm.
player by the way you're typing or whatever. Um, and that's what I like about it, because it's like like the thing about UKIN is you're playing your friends.
Yeah.
Like we are in a big, massive Twitter chat with all the UK players, talking about 24/7 talk. Pardon me. And playing against your friends is always so fun because you either lose or you win, and either way you're gonna get ripped the piss out of in the group chat later on after the game. You're either gonna rip the piss out of them for losing, or you're gonna get ripped the piss out of for for losing. So it's like I don't know. It's a good environment to be in. I like it. I think it's funny. Some people get a little bit butthurt and like, oh, stop aggravating me or whatever. But it's all fun and games, and I don't know. I wouldn't change it for anything because it's not boring. That's one
Yeah.
thing that it's not. It's not boring. You know what I mean? Like compared to some other leagues or some other players, they're really boring and don't really talk so much, and they're trying to be some princess or whatever. I don't like that. So I mean, I like to speak up and get your opinions out there. It's funny.
Oh, going off. Funny you said that because it transfers quite nicely. But is it hard to bite your tongue sometimes, seeing as you're representing an org and others can just let loose?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And I am quite outspoken, to be honest.
Mm.
Probably more than I should be. When I see something I don't like or something I think's wrong, I'm gonna call someone out for
Yeah.
that. Definitely. Like if someone is blatantly trying to aggravate me in a ranked game or in any form of social media or just being a dickhead, pretty much. I'm gonna call them out for being a dickhead. I mean, nothing's gonna stop me doing that. Um, and I don't know. I guess that's just how I am. I don't want to. I don't want bullshit to
Yeah.
to to uh, to go across or put on some fake face. I'm pretty open speaking. I don't have anything to hide. So I mean, if you wanna come at me, then I'm gonna come at you.
Mm.
So it's how it is. I
Yeah.
guess.
It's something that we see with like a lot of players who are also streamers,
Yep.
and that's kind of what I wanted to kind of dive more into, because although you can reserve yourself on Twitter on any kind of in interviews after matches, but
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm sure that you can come from this as well because of all the many array of clips coming from like your Twitch alone.
Mm-hmm.
And is it like is that seen differently if it's in like a Twitch setting in like a ranked game or
Like what do you mean? Like what do you mean? Is it seen differently? Like is it do people frown upon it or what?
yeah, as in do you have to reserve yourself when it comes to Twitch as well, or is
do I have to? Probably. Do I? Probably not. Like, it's never been a conversation that came up. Like, Navi are pretty easy going, to be
mm,
honest. Like, I respect them a lot, the organization and the management in Navi. Like, I would never do anything to badmouth them. So, like, I would never ever do that. And there's no reason for me to do that anyway. But I like to have some fun when I'm streaming.
mm,
Um, Sometimes I guess you could say I go too far, but at the end of the day, it's a video game,
mm,
and although you know, I've had experiences being banned for being a little bit too outspoken.
mm,
That wasn't really that. That was just me being young and immature and saying nasty things, which I'm not doing that at all right now. Me calling out someone or making fun of them for I don't know being terrible at the game. Let's just say it's can you really get annoyed at that? Not really. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's a bit of a laugh. So I would never do anything to disrespect Navi. I really do
no.
hold them in high regards. Like I really respect them a lot. So
I mean
yeah,
you guys have been with them for quite some time now.
yeah, almost 2 years.
Mm,
And like not only that, like they stuck with me through the ban.
mm,
Like they paid my salary through the ban. Which is just I could not ask that.
mm,
I couldn't ask that of them. I remember having a discussion with them, and I was like, "You don't need to do this. I don't expect you to do it either." So like I really thought that was me done. So it just shows you how caring they are of their players, Navi,
mm,
and that they actually seen the opportunity in me and kept me on, which like it means so much because if they didn't keep me on, like what would I do? Like what actually would I do? Would I go get another
mm.
job? Would I do something outside of esports? Would I be where I am today? Probably not. Like really, probably not. I couldn't have survived without being paid. I would have had to go and do something when I was banned, which
Mm.
would take my focus off the game. But they allowed me to keep my focus on my game and keep my skill up to a level that I was comfortable with, whilst not playing competitively, which is just like it's like it. Like I will really hold that close to me till the day I die. Like that
Yeah.
is an insane amount of commitment for anyone to put, because you got to think about it. Like Navi organization,
Mm.
big organization being that, like paying a player for not playing for 6 months is
Mm.
that's a commitment and a half, right? Like that is some serious commitment, and I really do like I remember saying it on Twitter. Like I really hold them high for that. That is that really showed a good organization there. That really showed an organization sticking with a player.
Mm.
So that's just I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, someone also said like, do you think for like after Siege, or not even after Siege, like, would you think that you'd find success in another game, kind of like Siege, like Valorant, or
Um,
would
I
you
mean,
stick through?
for me, no, I wouldn't play another game. I don't know if I said this on stream, but I definitely said it to you
Mm.
before. Like I don't actually play games
Yeah.
outside of Siege. Really, I don't enjoy it. It's not a pastime. I would rather go out with my friends than sit here playing a game
Mm.
that isn't Siege. So like Siege is the game that I am addicted to. Like, it's the game that I love, and it's the game that I'm good at, and I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change that for anything, no matter how much money is involved or anything like that. It's the game I want to
Mm.
play, and I'm here to like stick it out. I don't like Valorant. I don't like any other FPS. I don't play. I literally don't play other games. I bought Star Citizen the other day, and I bought the Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
Mm.
and I'm probably gonna play a couple hours. You know what I mean, like here and there. But it's not a game that I will play and stick to. It's just
Mm.
not. Um, so I guess that's just me. I guess other people would probably move to somewhere where the money is more.
Yeah.
But like for me, it's not like my driving point. Like I just wanna win and prove myself. You know what I mean? So, um, bit more of an honorable take, I guess,
Yeah.
because but at the end of the day, like money makes the world go round. So I don't know. I guess like you can't blame people for doing what they do, going to different esports or doing that.
Yes.
So yeah.
Eh, Everyone now went off on the brand of Bed Wars, Elite Squad, Prop Hunt.
No,
That
never played anything.
that was a time of just Gary's mod, different game modes.
I've heard of Gary's mod. I've never played
I,
it though. Really never played it. So yeah, I don't
um,
know.
yeah. Bros was saying, do you reckon you'd go off and attempt another career after the Siege esport had dissipated?
No. Wait, do you mean if Siege dies, would I go play another esports?
Yeah.
Probably not. No, probably not. I don't think I would. Um, that's a good one actually. I really
Mm.
don't know. And nor am I thinking about that because I don't think Siege esports is gonna die. It's gonna be here for
Not well, not
a long time.
not
Um,
anyone, not anytime soon. Certainly.
yeah. I mean, it will die eventually. Everything comes to an
Mm.
end. But I think this game has another 10 years in it, maybe more. Like really,
Mm.
I really do mean that. Um, so I mean, I'm probably not going to be playing it in 10 years because I'll be too old. I'll be like what 30 or something. There's going to be better people who could
Mm.
to replace me. But no, I think the game will be here for a long time, a long, long time.
Well, again, on that, how do you feel as this is doing this as your job and continuously having to adapt to new metas and them saying that they
Hmm?
want 100 ops?
I
How do you
mean,
think the pro scene will adapt to that in terms of like bans, ops? How do you think that will
I mean,
work?
we're going to need more bans. First of all, I expect that to happen next season. To be honest, we already have too many operators, in my opinion.
Mm.
So first of all, I hope that happens next season. If not, definitely the season after, because there's so many operators that come in that are too strong when combined with each other. Um, this game is not an FPS; it's a MOBA. I've said this for a long time. It is 100% a MOBA where everybody counters one another. You got
Mm.
to have deep knowledge of everything to actually play the game. So it's not an FPS. Sadly, it has FPS features in it, but the main game is not an FPS, in my opinion, because it's shooting people is only 50% of what you need to do. Um, so I kind of hope, and I think we kind of are going back to that era of shooting people again.
Yeah.
Like that's actually what the game's going to be instead of complete utility clear, which I hope. But at the same time, it's different. The game is different, and that's probably what stands out to a lot of people. Although we do complain about it a lot, that is Siege. That is what we're used to. So I really don't know actually. I don't know what Pro Siege will be like in a year's time or whatever. Because if you asked me this question last year, I wouldn't say where we are now. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's certainly going to change after the new, especially just the smallest thing of just a Jaeger nerf.
Yep.
That's going to change a lot of
Oh yeah,
playstyles.
a lot of things. Like people can't hide behind a shield
Mm.
anymore for 1 minute and a half of the round. It's like the angle on the cafe in the piano corner
Mm.
that's going to be non-existent anymore. You can't hold that. Like it's how it is. That's going to be such a really attacker favored shift. I think in terms of speed, I think the game will still be defender sided
Mm.
because that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Like you have to defend; it's easier than attacking. But it'll definitely increase the attack win rate 100%. And you're going to see a lot of new things, a lot of old operators
Mm.
brought back into play because they're simply able to. You're going to see Glaz, you're going to see Ying, you're going to see probably a little bit more shields. You're going to see a lot of these things that I think are going to be really, really fun
Mm.
and spice up the game. So I'm looking forward to it, like really, really looking forward to it.
It's the changes that they're making. I mean, it's the smallest changes that make the biggest impact.
Yeah,
Because even the smallest thing of Ash losing her flashbangs,
well, that's huge.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
she's
really
now got
huge.
3 breaching charges,
Yep,
which is
yep.
more.
Also
Yeah,
huge. Yep.
it's just again the smallest things will just have there will be a change,
Yeah,
but
and
we
that's
just
what I'm
don't know.
saying.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a MOBA,
Mm.
it's a game of chess because it's not about shooting people. Like these, like that change of Ash getting an extra breach charge and losing flashbangs is bigger than someone getting another gun.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Which is, it's just how it is. Like it is a game of chess. Like it's that siege. Um. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. So um. Oh, I think that's about coming to that time, and
Yep.
it's. I mean, is there anything else that you want to kind of touch on or talk about?
No, I don't like sardines. Twitch chat. I
They've
really don't like sardines. No, but just, thanks for having me on. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's been a good talk.
Mm.
I hope some people have, I don't know,
Mm.
gained some experience, I guess, or
Mm.
just took into what I've said,
Mm.
taken into account. So yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for coming, and everyone, thank you so much for joining. We have so much more coming this week, and we have Eunice later on today to talk about being like an esports coordinator and how to work in that management of esports. But thank you so much for joining today. It's been a really great pleasure, and yeah,
No, my pleasure. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
and we will see. I'll see everyone else later on today for another interview. Thank you so much for joining. I've been Peak, and thank you so much for joining us once again, and we'll see you guys later.